Good chilly morning to you all. So I am a few miles down from the shelter that I stayed at last night. I was the only one there the whole time, which is equal parts awesome and totally unnerving. Honestly, I haven't seen another soul. I met one person this whole time out here hiking along with me, and they're probably up ahead a little bit. So the solitude isn't insane. There's just nobody out here, which is really fun. But yeah, the shelter last night was a little scary. It is a lot colder than it was yesterday, so I've bundled up a little bit, but I've got probably about a little under 10 miles to get to the place where I'm probably going to stay tonight. If I feel good, I'm going to keep going. Overall, my body feels great. Mental, great. Spirit, great. So I'm going to give it a green. We are green, mind, body, spirit. So, all right, let's see where it goes. Yeah. Taking this video to remember the first time on my 23 AT trek that I walked on a path that was lit by the sun. This is all the water I have left until I get to the next shelter. So, not the best move. The good news is the next shelter's in a mile, so I think I'm gonna be okay. There it is. Not dying today. Let's do it. Good morning, hackers. Well, one of two things is about to happen today. So I've got 2.5 miles until a road crossing where I could phone in to get to a shuttle and get to a hostel. And the reason that I would do that is because I feel on my right foot that I'm developing a stress fracture. So I might have gone too hard too fast, and I want to listen to my body. The game is simple, but it's not easy. And the game is called Don't Let Your Pride Make Your Decisions For You. And so my pride is telling me you could suck it up and hike 25, 45, 100 miles on a stress fracture if you wanted to. You used to be a Marine, so man up and do it. And the better part of valor is making sure that your pride does not make those dumb ass decisions, because next thing you know, you have hiked 25, 45, 100 miles on a stress fracture, and then you're done. You cannot hike anymore because you are injured. So that's the monologue that I have going on right now, and I'm not sure who's gonna win. But I'll get to this road crossing and we'll see how it goes. So I've decided I'm not gonna let my pride win out on this one. I definitely have the onset of a stress fracture in my right foot here. And so, new plan, I'm going to hike to that road crossing, which you probably hear the cars. We're right next to the highway. I'm going to find a hostel. I'm going to rest for a day. I'm gonna get some new shoes, and then I'm going to take it easy because I'm not going to let my pride ruin this through hike. In 2020, I went probably way too far, way too fast, and I paid for it. I had injuries in my knee, I had injuries in my ankle. I don't have any of those right now, and I'm thankful for that. Really, the rest of my body feels totally fine. But it's concerning, and if I headed off at the pass right now, I think I'm gonna be okay. But if I keep hiking, and I feel like I could keep hiking, but if I do, I'm probably gonna run into an issue that's gonna torpedo this whole thing. And I've spent way too much time and way too much effort planning and saving for this to let that happen. So this is me saying, screw my pride, not gonna win today, and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta, play the long game here. In fact, this whole thing is a long game. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get to the hostel here, take a rest day, edit together some footage for you, and yeah. All right, 20 minutes and I'm picked up and I'm headed to the hostel. So that worked out. I get to just hang out here for 20 minutes, I guess. Hiking shoes off, Crocs on in all-terrain mode. I'm sorry, these aren't Crocs, they're Waldies. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh my God. Ah. All right, I'm at the Nature's Inn hostel. Right off the bat, I want to say this place is phenomenal. It is an adorable hostel. It's got tons of good resupply. It's just a fantastic place to stay. So thank you, Amy, and thank you to the staff of the hostel. You may have saved my through hike. Honestly, I guess we're gonna find out. So yeah, we're wrapping up the first week, and I'm already hitting challenges, right? And I was just reflecting on now in 2023 how different it was from 2020 in my approach to when things like this happen. So I was hiking for a while in 2020 on injuries. So I had like a knee injury in the Smokies. I had an ankle injury before that. I had a bunch of really bad blisters. And I kind of like learned how to dance with and kind of maneuver around those injuries. But some of them, like the knee injury especially, I was just gritting my teeth and hiking on. I think like my 2020 attitude was like, just send it, right? And I mean, what a difference 3 years makes, because now I'm sitting here and I'm sensing my body trying to tell me something. I'm feeling the onset of an injury, and instead of just being like, it'll be fine and hiking on, I'm taking a pause and I'm seeing what I can do about the situation. And I think I'm more like risk aware now. And that's a huge difference from when I set out in 2020. So it's interesting to me that how much has changed since that time. So tomorrow I will head into Irwin and go to the Outfitters and try to find a better pair of shoes. I think the biggest issue here is that my Salomon Speedcross 5s, which are fantastic shoes, they're old. I got them in, I think, like June or July of last year. So they're probably on their last good trek, right? And this probably just is too much for them. So I have that new pair of super feet that I got at the Outfitters in Hot Springs. I'll match that up with a better pair of shoes. I'll hike on. I'll see where I land. And so this is part of the challenge, you know? Through hiking is not easy. It's got tons of obstacles along the way, and one of them is yourself. And you've got to kind of deal with that, and how you deal with that is going to make or break your hike. So that's a little bit about where I'm at right now, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. But for now, I get to hang out, eat some pizza, hang out by the creek. Good stuff. All right. Goodbye, Solomons. You served me well, but I think your time is up. Thank you for everything. All right. The next day, take 2, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Not as bad. Not as bad today. All right, so I stayed the night here at the Nature's Inn hostel. Overall foot is feeling, I think, a lot better. I can still kind of feel it a little bit when I wiggle my big toe. But today was all about running into town to get a new pair of shoes. I said goodbye to my Salomon Speedcross 5s. When I spoke with Chris at the Irwin Outdoor Supply Store, he said he loves Salomons, and he's a Salomon guy himself, but for through hiking, the toe box is way too narrow, and your feet are probably going to get crunched all together as you're hiking. So he recommended to me these bad boys, the Ultra Olympus 5s. And so the toe box on this thing is absolutely insane. So your feet can kind of splay out naturally like that. This is all about troubleshooting. This is debugging, right? So just like when your program doesn't work, just like when an exception is thrown, just like when your reverse shell doesn't come back, or your beacon doesn't beacon, or your payload doesn't fire, this is troubleshooting. This is picking apart the pieces and figuring out what went wrong and where you can improve, right? And so I've troubleshot that my shoes were too narrow. I went too fast, too quickly, right? And so the fixes for those are more room in the toe box and an ego check. And so this is me checking my ego and saying, I'm not going to go 18 miles a day right out of the gate. I need to hold myself to 10 miles a day. Nice and easy, like I said I would. And I did not follow through on that, and I paid for it. And I caught it just in time, I think. I think this is gonna be fine, and over the next few days, as I taper my mileage back, I should be totally okay. But yeah, I think this is the ego check that I needed, because if I had just hiked on, I probably would have ended up with something actually debilitating. Nature's Inn hostel and cabins, I don't know what else to say other than there's a good chance you may have saved my through hike. You let me rest up, you let me resupply, and I think my foot's feeling a lot better now. So thank you, Amy and Taft, and I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. And if my through hike is successful, I'll owe it in no small part to you. So thank you. Now please enjoy this beautiful sunset.